What is up, my brothers from another mother, my sisters from another mister? In today's video, let's talk about the new president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Everybody said it wouldn't happen. The media laughed at it and flung mud. But here he is today, and he won by, I wouldn't say a landslide, but by as the obvious choice. So let's call it that. I've kept most of my political opinions to myself. In fact, I'm not that interested in the political landscape personally. But I've made 10 predictions on what I think is going to happen now that Donald Trump is your president. I did a video about a month ago. I'll throw up a card if you haven't seen it, where I was talking about pre-election stuff. But prediction number one, I think the Canadian dollar is going to appreciate against the American dollar probably over the next 6 to 8, 10 months, while he says and does very unpopular things that will leave uncertainty in the U.S. economy, uncertainty in the value of the U.S. dollar, which will mean that investment and currency exchange will flock towards other currencies. And Canadian dollars have always been very safe. So I think over the next 6 to 10 months, you'll see an appreciation in the Canadian dollar. Which brings me to prediction number two. Of course, I'm a car guy, and a lot of you guys watch my channel for the car stuff and car news. I think that because of the appreciation in the Canadian dollar, you see more people importing cars into Canada from the U.S. It's been prohibitive in the past because of the 19% tax, if you live in Ontario, because of the 19% tax cost, plus the exchange to bring it in. So with an increase in the Canadian dollar, hopefully we'll be able to buy some of your tasty and savory, beautiful cars in the U.S. market for a lot less. Prediction number three, on a balance of probabilities, I think he's going to do good for your country. I know there's been a lot of people that have kicked and screamed at this one, and on Facebook this morning there's been a lot of people going, unfriend me if you voted for Trump, and I can't believe the misogynist, anti-woman, anti-gay, homophobic, guys now president of the United States. Settle down, chill out for a second. The guy that was campaigning, I think, is different from the approach he's going to take to running the United States. Your commander-in-chief, I think, will do a good job. So on a balance of probabilities, I'd say about 80% chance things will go well. I've always said from the beginning, from the last couple of years when I heard he was running for the presidency, that he would either be the worst thing that happened to the United States or the best thing that happened to the United States. There's so much in the way of politicians and their BS that's happened for a very long time. I think it's about time that we see what happens if you put a business leader in charge of a country. I think on a balance of probabilities, again, there's a very good chance he will do very good for you guys. Prediction number four, I think there's going to be a hell of a lot less socialism and, of course, the birth of many more startup businesses, which is great for the economy. Trump is definitely pro-startup, pro-business, and his tax policies will certainly help startups. So I think you're going to see the birth of a lot more fast-growing, high-tech businesses in the United States specifically, potentially even more throughout North America. Prediction number five, you're going to see the stock markets be extremely volatile over the 6 to 12 months because of his policies and the things that he's going to say. He's going to say and do things that are extremely unpopular that will probably offend quite a few people. The markets probably won't take very kindly to it and might even need to correct or adapt to his policies and storytelling. So I think you're going to see a lot of volatility. Also, the U.S. stock market is well overpriced. It has been for a long time. The U.S. job numbers are BS. The artificially low interest rates obviously pump up the economy a little bit. So it's due for a correction. You're going to see that probably in the next 6 to 12 months, and I suspect that'll also boost up the price of gold. Prediction number six, it wasn't spoken about much during the election, but they got to do something about the debt in the United States. It's $20 trillion, which is a shit ton of money owed. And he's talking about policies that will lower taxes, that will build infrastructure, roads, bridges, schools, fix inner cities, build walls, blah, blah, blah. Well, all that's going to take tax revenue. So if you have less tax revenue and you want to spend more money to make America great again, that's going to have to come from somewhere when you're servicing $20 trillion in debt. By measure with the debt load, the true measure, I think the United States is something like third or fourth off worst country in the world. So I suspect what he's going to do, he's got an interesting relationship with debt. If you've read any of his books or followed any of his business history, but I suspect he's going to do something pretty drastic with it. My guess is he's going to try to find some way to settle it or maybe negotiate it down. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not exactly sure what the outcome will be. And prediction number 7, we're going to see immigration into Canada increase because the United States will probably change or modify their immigration policies based on his platform when he was campaigning for president. That'll, of course, lower people moving in, or lower the number of people moving into the United States. People will be less apt to want to move to the United States and probably choose Canada as an alternative, which will continue to boost our immigration numbers. We've got huge immigration numbers here. It's really driven up the prices of homes, especially in urban centers like Toronto. So I think we're going to see the stock market, the real estate values continue to be strong for the next year to 2 years. And we'll probably see more of the immigration moving to Canada. The big exodus that we've heard about with, Americans leaving the United States and coming to Canada, and they broke the immigration website. There's like dating sites out that are now called Maple Match and stuff, where they match up Canadians with Americans, so Americans can marry Canadians and move to Canada. I don't think you're going to see a huge migration of people from the United States move to Canada. There's been a lot of A-list celebrities like Samuel L. Jackson and a bunch of others that have said, I'm going to move the F out of the United States and go somewhere else if he's elected president. I don't think that's going to happen. Prediction number 8. I think he's going to have an 8-year term. I think he's going to do such a good job over the 4 years. They're going to reelect him. He's going to do a full 8 years. Prediction number 9. There is an obvious void between conservative values and liberal values now. We saw it all on social media during the last 18 months of this campaign and on television and during debates. And, while both the candidates today said that they want everybody to unite and to move forward and to make America great again, the truth of the matter is, if you look on social media this morning, there were a lot of people that were freaking out that were huge Hillary supporters. I almost want to use the term or phrase crybaby or sore losers. But when you say things on Facebook like unfriend me if you voted for Trump, like I'm afraid for what's going to happen, to me as a single mother and my child and blah, blah, blah. Well, the truth of the matter is, I think there's probably going to be an assassination attempt on Trump at some point. I don't know whether it's going to be successful, but there's going to be a greater divide. There's going to be more volatility between conservatism and liberalism, because really that's what Hillary stood for one side of that and Trump stood for the other. So I think we'll see a lot of volatility with that over the next few years. And my 10th and final prediction, Trump is probably a merchant of truth is what I'd like to call him. He's the most authentic person that could be a president ever. With somebody like Hillary saying you've got public policy and private policy, what you see with Trump is what you get. He's not very polished, but he's 100% authentic. And authenticity is probably one of the newest currencies that you'll see grow in importance growing in the future. So I think you're going to see a lot less political correctness. You're going to see less hypergamy, less gynocentrism. You're going to see a lot less of the socialist values and handouts and things like that. He's not anti-anything. I suspect that if you take a closer look at him and his history, you'll discover very, very quickly that he wants people to succeed. He wants success. He wants growth. He wants America to be great. But at the same time, he's not there to hand out free shit to people that think they have an entitlement. Those that have a entitlement mentality or belief system will probably struggle or have a lot of difficulty with the policies. That's it for the video today. Thanks for checking it out, guys. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on your predictions. These are my 10 predictions. I look forward to leaning back into my past, maybe in 4 years' time, and seeing which one of these comes true. Congratulations on your new president. Move forward, everybody. Those that are bitching and whining, stop it, grow up, and support your new president. And you've got 4 years of Donald J. Trump. I never thought I'd ever say that, the Celebrity Apprentice was going to be president of the United States, but who knows what's next? Maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger will be. Maybe they'll change the rules in the Constitution or whatever it is that prohibits him from running for president. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video. Have an amazing one. Peace.